Welcome to Group 1's presentation about Sprint and our strategic recommendations to help the company grow. As I'm sure many of you are familiar, Sprint was founded in 1899 by Clayson Brown as the Brown Telephone Company, which today, of course, is known as Sprint. By the mid-1970s, as a result of a well-designed growth strategy, the Brown Telephone Company had become the nation's largest independent telephone company. By 1986, the company was the first in the nation to have a 100% digital fiber optic network, and at the same time also became a pioneer in data communications. Simply stated, Sprint is a US-based mobile phone and internet company, which today is partnered with mobile phone company Nextel. However, by the end of the month, Sprint will be closing down the Nextel network. Sprint provides long-distance mobile phone and internet services to individuals, businesses, and governments. The company also provides wireless services through subsidiaries such as Virgin Mobile, Boost Mobile, and Assurance Wireless. Before we go any further, it's important to assess Sprint's current situation. Currently, Sprint serves more than 55 million consumers and ranks in the top 3 wireless service providers across the United States. Sprint operates a nationwide CDMA network and most recently has launched a 4G LTE market across major metropolitan cities in the United States. Beginning June 30th, 2013, Sprint will be ending its merger with Nextel and has plans to extend coverage to over 300 million people by the end of 2014. Sprint is known for being at the forefront of developing, engineering, and deploying innovative technologies. To get a better sense of how Sprint can continue to be a leader within the mobile phone market, it is important to understand the environment and industry in which it operates. Within the economic segment, Sprint is the number 3 U.S. mobile services provider. The company also owns 50% of Clearwire's shares. There is a projected growth of 36% in their global machine-to-machine connections. Sprint is spread across 4 business areas that are local phone, long-distance, internet, and wireless operations. Their shares typically sell between $7.33 and $7.40 a share, while their competitors Verizon sell at $52.89 and AT&T sells at $37.36 a share. The Sprint company has 39,000 employees, and there is an average activity of 46 million stocks traded each day. Within the sociocultural segment, it is clear that social connection is becoming more important and is advancing quickly in the United States. For a wireless phone company, this is a huge opportunity. In June of 2000, there were 97 million mobile phone subscribers. In June 2010, this number rose to 293 million, and by the end of 2011, there were roughly 6 billion cell phone subscribers in the entire world. 316 million of those subscribers reside in the United States. The increase of phone subscriptions over the last 10 years shows that our society puts importance on owning a cell phone. This shows an opportunity to gain new business. Our country puts a large amount of importance on connecting with friends through various methods. These sociocultural aspects show that mobile phone companies need to offer different data plans for social networking, texting, and connection options to continue maintaining a leadership position in the industry. There is no doubt that the mobile phone industry is a global market. Out of the world's estimated 7 billion people, 6 billion currently have access to mobile phones, and a third of those cell phone users are in China and India, totaling 2 billion users in those countries alone. It is reported that the number of active cell phones will reach 7.3 billion by 2014, and by that point there will be more in-use cell phones than there are people. Currently, there are more than 100 countries in the world where the number of cell phones exceeds the country's actual population. In its relatively short existence, the mobile phone industry has seen an incredible amount of technological change and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. The purpose of the industry and its products is constantly evolving. Initially, mobile phones were introduced for individuals to have phone conversations outside of their home or office settings. However, as features such as text messaging, email, and social media applications have been created, the purpose of cell phones, as well as the role of cell phone providers, has changed. The technological segment of this industry places a responsibility on providers to be at the forefront of all technological advancements and to offer these advancements to their customers immediately in order to continue to be relevant within the industry. Additionally, the constant innovations in technology bring about an ethical component for companies in the mobile phone industry to protect consumers from inappropriate material, unwanted contact, and infringement on their privacy. The mobile market that Sprint operates in is becoming more and more complicated. The driving force of this complexity is the technological strides our mobile devices have taken over the years. From these advancements, the companies operating inside the mobile market have gained an enormous amount of consumer information. This information is extremely valuable for companies in a variety of different sectors, but this also presents a very volatile legal situation for these companies. Consumers value their privacy, and how companies handle their information is crucial. The mobile phone market consists of men and women from nearly all ethnicities. By the end of 2011, there were roughly 6 billion cell phone subscribers in the entire world, with 316 million of these subscribers residing in the United States. In the last few years, the mobile phone industry has been growing. In 2011, 83% of Americans owned a cell phone, 35% of which owned smartphones. Younger adults, ages 18 to 29, seem to be the most active cell phone users. People with a college education or degree, urban and suburban residents, and parents are all common cell phone buyers. The mobile phone industry in the United States and the entire world encompasses a great amount of individuals and an incredible amount of diversity. Within the physical segment, we can see that the primary responsibility of the cell phone industry is to allow individuals to connect with one another whenever and wherever they desire. In the case of a natural disaster, this responsibility could be compromised for many firms within the industry. Phone carriers and their customers experience problems with connectivity in the event of most, if not all, natural disasters, ranging from earthquakes to hurricanes. Most providers have systems set in place to deal with such disasters, but nature is always going to be bigger and stronger than these efforts. As individuals become increasingly dependent on mobile phones and the rate of natural disasters increases with global warming, firms in the industry will need to work diligently to develop strong and effective emergency plans to help customers when such disasters do occur. Proceeding from our external environment analysis, we will now conduct and present to you our 5 forces analysis on the wireless phone industry. The first component that we will look at is the bargaining power of buyers. The bargaining power of buyers within this industry is rising. There are many different mobile phone suppliers within the industry that buyers can choose from, and each company offers very similar products with little product differentiation. Clearly, buyers have an upper hand in their bargaining power. Buyers have the choice to go to many different companies to get relatively the same product, so there is little that mobile phone carriers can do to obtain a competitive advantage. In addition, it is relatively easy and inexpensive for a buyer to switch between different carriers. However, if a mobile phone company, like Sprint, were to lose a company, it is very costly. Therefore, buyers continue to have a high degree of bargaining power, since mobile phone companies do not want to incur the cost of losing a customer. Next, we will look at the bargaining power of suppliers. Sprint achieves bargaining power while also maintaining diversity in the suppliers that they choose. They increase diversity by including third-party certified, minority, women, and disabled veteran-owned businesses. Suppliers need to register bids for products or services. Sprint then evaluates the respective bids when a product or service is needed. After their search, potential companies are evaluated and chosen based on Sprint's needs and the price of the company. Therefore, suppliers for Sprint clearly have low bargaining power. Third, we will look at the threat of new entrants. Within the United States, the cell phone industry is already a well-established market, so the threat of a new entrant is very low. The market is dominated by Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile, all of which account for about 90% of the total market share. The barriers to enter the cell phone service industry are high because new companies need to invest a substantial amount in cell phone towers and other technology in order to compete with the already established companies that we mentioned. Next, we will look at the threat of substitute products. Sprint's competitors offer the same kinds of services. Cell phones that allow you to access the internet, make phone calls, text, download apps to customize a phone to fit your life. Products carried by the entire industry include smartphones, phones that don't require data plans, tablets, and other phones. The main substitutes for Sprint's products are those carried by their competitors AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Sprint is competing with all of these providers, but all of these companies are competing within a range of about $30 a month. Substitutes within such a close margin need to be monitored carefully. More consumers will be able to look at the benefits each company can provide instead of the price of the products alone. So the threat of substitutes is crucial for Sprint to be aware of, as well as other companies within their same industry. Last and perhaps most relevant to our discussion today is interfirm rivalry. The primary companies competing in the US mobile market are Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile. Consumers seek mobile devices that operate wherever they might be. So there have been significant marketing campaigns by all of these companies regarding the amount of coverage their company can offer consumers. Additionally, companies have implemented contractless alternatives or other competing contract options. All of these companies want to obtain the largest amount of coverage area, gain the most customers, have the best contract structure, have the most innovative products, and have the most diverse products. Because of this, there is a great deal of inter-firm rivalry. In analyzing competitors, Sprint's sales have declined, while T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon are all rising. Competitors have to pay phone manufacturers the cost for purchasing the phone they will sell in their stores. T-Mobile has acquired debt through its merger of Metro PCS, and Verizon will pay $10.831 million in debt this year.